Board. All right, it's 3 o'clock. We've got quarterbacks, fullbacks coach Ivin Jasper, who Alex Teska called a genius an hour ago. Scott Wyckoff, you're up.
So, Genius, how's it going so far in practice?
It's going good. This is spring is always it's a good time. It's an exciting time. It's also can be a little nerve wracking. You're just nervous about getting key players hurt. But obviously you need it to get the work in, to get prepared, have guys get more reps and get better. So that's been a focus. Obviously this is my 26. So I know whatever it is, Strasburg. I know I'm up there, but it's been a lot of springs here, man, and I'm just excited about this one as I have been about the rest of them.
What's it like coming into a spring like this where you've got such an exceptional core of starters, but you also have a group that's coming up that, like you said, needs those reps, but has the potential to really give this team some great coverage in the backfield?
I mean, it's exciting, very exciting. It's comforting, knowing you have kids who've played, have a lot of experience, and have done some really good things for you. Now it's just a matter of finding, filling those holes, especially up front, but also making sure, like I say again, as you're staying healthy, and you're being smart with your starters. They need to be sharp. Spring is not an off time for them. They need to get some key reps. So and we're doing just that. Make sure that our guys are staying sharp and not going to tackle quarterbacks like we normally don't tackle the QB, but for Alex and guys like that, someone to be smart. Got to get the other guys reps and make sure that they're ready to play. But again, it's exciting. We got a chance to be pretty good if we just continue to stay on the hunt and not think that we've arrived and just stay hungry.
And what's impressed you the most about this unit? I mean, two outstanding quarterbacks. You've got fullbacks that have really done well for you. How does this rank in your quarter century of coaching these two positions in Naval Academy?
Tell you what, man, it's up there, man. It's up there. And again, I've just been fortunate to be a part of a lot of good groups. And obviously I'm thankful and appreciative, show a lot of gratitude for still being here. And but yeah, this is a really good group. They're up there. But the thing about these guys is that they're just having fun. They haven't let the success go to their heads. They're themselves, man. They're not. Blake is Blake. He's still a jokester. And him and Alex kind of go at it every time. They go back and forth at each other. So they're just having fun. They're enjoying it. It's a good feeling to kind of get things back on track. But not they understand that again, staying on the hunt and staying hungry and keep this thing going.
In the time we spent with Coach Cronick, he says really that's one of the most important things for him as a coach and a coordinator, to make sure the guys are having fun with all they're up against during the day and what they challenge them with on the yard, to be able to come to practice and have fun.
Exactly. They're, and again, I hope it doesn't come out the wrong way, like other schools. But these guys, they're taking real classes, man. These kids are, they're going in double E and cybersecurity, stuff like that. I didn't take those classes. I tell you that much right now. But again, they have a full day schedule, man. They're getting up, they're going to class, then come over to practice and having to live, having to eat. So again, coming over here, there needs to be a release for these guys to come out there and have some fun. Again, playing what that they love to do, and we need to make it that way for them. So and Coach God's done a good job of managing our guys to make sure that they're staying sharp, but also having fun as well.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
I went to the Harvard of the Midwest, and I did not take those classes. And 26 is correct. This is your 26th. Wow.
So real quickly, should we be talking to Ivin about the quarterbacks at this time, or are we going to have a different time?
Nope. Quarterbacks, fullbacks, get everything.
Okay. Well, let's start with the fullbacks since we talked to Alex Texa earlier. What did you feel like? I mean, obviously Alex had a very good season, but he's not an All-American yet. Mm-hmm. What did you think he could improve upon, Ivin? What did you talk to him about working on?
Alex is a good football player. He's a really good football player. The kid is super talented. I think the one thing that he can get better at is this pass protection. And again, it's something that we have to get better at. We want to be able to throw the football as a football team. It's going to make us better, hard to defend. I think we did a great job of that last year. But at the same time, we got to be better pass protectors at the be-back position. And that's my job, to make sure that we're doing more drills, trying to go and get our defensive guys, just maybe one-on-one pass rush and just, getting that work in. Now, now I'm blocking again. It's all a part of want to. You got to go up there and want to get it done. But at the same time, it's a big part technique and fundamentals, and that's my job to make sure that those guys are getting that work in.
You have to rebuild that position a little bit with Dava. He's the other guy that got a lot of reps last year. I mean, who is showing you something that they could join Alex and, maybe take some game repetitions come fall?
Well, we have 10 guys there. We have 10 guys there now, move some guys in. So there's definitely a lot of guys to choose from. But Shane Reynolds played some for us last year. But we're kind of looking at Shane as being more of a versatile player for us, being able to do some things at beatback, but also being able to play some snipe for us, being a bigger body, being able to block people for us, and not sending our little guys in there to block linebackers. So Shane's going to kind of have a dual role, but he can kind of give us. He can spell us some in the game and go in there and spell Alex, but at the same time, he's going to be a senior as well, too. So we got to make sure that we find out of these young guys, players who can step up and play for us. And the one surprise has been Vic Lastorti. I mean, he's really come on. Now he was at Snipe, and we had a good talk. He said things kind of moved a little too fast for him there, and being here at beatback is wouldn't say a lot easier, but again, it's more of his style of play. He's a back. It's funny. He actually played against. I watched some film for Jaron like weeks, just months ago. When he was little, playing against his team from Pasadena, and the kid I'm watching, I'm like, man, that kid runs familiar. I said, I bet you that's Vic Lastorti. I bet you that's him. And I asked him about it. He said, yep, that was me, coach. I played against your son when we were little, but he's a good football player. He's an explosive kid. He's a fast kid. He can catch the ball. He's a lot of the same tools that Alex has. He has to, learn the position, be more physical. Today, he found out yesterday or Tuesday practice that's something that he's really going to struggle with right now. And I got to do a better job getting ready for it. But he has definitely been the one main surprise for us at that position. Aiden Rolfo's another guy that was up there with us last year, that got some reps last year in games. So right now those two guys are the ones that kind of focusing on. And William Ingles, another one. Just want to get William back to being what he was last spring at this time, because he was playing some beatback and quarterback last spring, but he was very productive. He just made plays. And he had some personal issues going on off the field that kind of affected his play, and just trying to put that all behind him right now and kind of get him back to what he was last spring. So, those three guys right now. But again, there's also a handful of other guys that have the talent. But right now, Victor Lastorti is probably the one guy that stands out.
So obviously, he was a very good player in Anne Arundel County at Chesapeake High School, and I think he was our player of the year his senior year. Was also a pretty darn good linebacker. He was also a sprinter on the track team, so he'd be a pretty speedy guy for a B-back. What are some of the skills he brings to the table that you like? And I know that he got moved to slot back briefly, so I think you must have had some concerns about whether he could handle size-wise the B-back position.
But he can. Well, he's a lot like Alex. They're very similar. They're fast. They're explosive. He's again, just the mental part of the game needs to slow down for him. He needs to pick up on things a lot quicker. But he's going to get there. I'm confident that he'll get there. It's my job to coach him and prepare him. But he's the one kid that hit 20 miles an hour the other day on his GPS. So he's a fast kid. He's fast, explosive. He can catch the ball. He can change direction pretty good. He has all the tools. He has all the tools to be pretty good back for us. But again, it's really, really early right now. I'm not going to, anoint him right now. He will get a lot of reps. Also, the guys get a lot of reps, and hopefully by the end of the spring, we have an idea who those guys will be.
So I'm sorry, who was it that you mentioned in between Lastorti and Ingle?
Aiden Wolfolk.
Okay, what can you say about him?
Yeah, shorter kid, but very powerful, very explosive. From his stance to the line of scrimmage, is pretty explosive. And again, just needs to get reps. Just needs to get reps, and they all need to be better pass blockers and be better pressed without the ball in their hands. Right? They're all running backs. They're all great pressing the balls in their hands, but without the football, that's their main thing right now. blocking, playing with great effort, getting downfield, and again doing things when the ball's not in their hands. That's the main focus right now for these guys.
Thanks.
Got it, my man.
Tim Nolan.
Yeah, Coach, you've been around a number of programs that have had high expectations, but how have you seen these guys handle that, especially early on this spring? We talk with Blake and Ben, and they're all very candid about having high aspirations for this season. What have you seen from the way they've gone about their business?
Yeah, nothing's pretty much changed, which is what I like. They, you don't see them coming around with this look in their eyes as if the weight of the world's on their shoulders. They understand, and they're extremely hungry group. And the group that got turned around, right? We've been struggling for the past few years, and these guys have got us on the right track, winning 10 games, and obviously beating those guys from up north, and winning a bowl game over SEC team. So it's basically really high. It's always that way, right? But it's just a matter of maintaining it, but also just not finesse. You got to have the pressure of the world on your shoulders and just go out and and play your game. If these kids continue to work hard, stay focused. The quarterbacks play well, take care of the football, don't turn it over, and our beatbacks obviously run the football effectively, getting yak yards, after contact, and taking care of the football, and obviously protecting the quarterback in the passing game. If we can just continue to do that and just stay focused, we'll be fine.
Blake mentioned how that extra continuity this year, coming back with the same OC, is going to allow him to air it out a little bit more. What does your job look like as you try and get him more comfortable if you do end up taking that next step in the passing?
Well, it's a lot of Coach Chronic. He's the play caller. He's the play caller, and I've always believed that the play caller spends most of the time with the quarterbacks. And my main focus this spring has been making sure that we got beatbacks. Because again, like earlier, right now it's something that we have no depth at right now. And if Alex Tessa goes down, it's going to be tough for us right now. So trying to find depth there and trying to build depth there this spring is my main focus. Quarterback wise, Blake has gotten so much better throwing the football from his very, very first plebe summer when it was like, whoa, this kid's going to struggle. He was a good option quarterback that can run around real great, but he's gotten so much better as a thrower. And that's something that again that he has shown that he's worked on. He's taken pride in it, and he wants to be better at it. He wants to be looked at more as just option quarterback. Our quarterbacks in this offense, man, you have to be able to run option, got to be able to run read power, got to be able to run inside, got to be able to run zone read, got to be able to throw the football. You got to be very, very talented in this offense to be a quarterback because there's a lot that we ask of these guys to do. And Blake and Braxton both they've stepped up and they're doing a really, really good job in being able to handle all that we asked them to do, and they've done well at it. So again, Blake being better as a passer is just something that's going to help us as an offense, because the more and more that we become a threat to throw the football, just the more and more hard makes you defend. Because again, we'll be throwing the ball a lot in the game. Who knows? But knowing that we can throw it when we need to, so our QB can do it. That's where we want to be at, and that's where we are right now.
Thank you.
I'll ask one. Ivan, have you seen a greater sense of confidence from Braxton this spring after the way he performed in that East Carolina game? It kind of that win really, I think, kind of kick-started the last two games against Army and Oklahoma, kind of brought some confidence back by everybody, but especially Braxton. Have you seen that out of him?
A kid that has all the tools. The kid is super talented, but again was just missing a few things. And the main thing was obviously getting in the game and playing well. Obviously, the Tulane game, which we all want to forget about, was not a great game for him. But for him to, he had to gain his teammates' confidence, and coming out in that ECU game and playing the way he did, played a great game, played a lot of confidence. And you can see after the game, he just his confidence, his demeanor, everything is elevated. So again, and hopefully, the thing I want to be able to do is get to the point to where it can be where Coach Clark can say, you know what, we got two QBs and we can play them both. Okay, I don't have to be nervous about putting Braxton in there. Want to get to the point to where it can give Coach Klein that kind of confidence where you can put Braxton in there to give Blake a spell of series, something like that. So that way Blake can not take as much of a beating all season long and be able to be fresh going to the end of the season. So if you got two guys that can play for you and you feel confident about both of those guys, man, just makes it so much better. And Braxton with this confidence and the way it's going right now, hopefully we can get there.
The way I know he's banged up a little bit right now, but the way Jackson Gutierrez also played in that game could give everyone confidence as well.
Yes, that was, and that was probably that's probably the one disappointing thing this spring. It's going to be a really, really good, big spring for him to get him a lot of reps and get better, and not be able to go through spring right now. He might maybe the last few practices or something like that, but now Trey Jones, who is a really good athlete, he's super twitchy, can run. His biggest thing has been being an effective thrower. Okay, mechanically, I mean, he's been way off mechanically, and that's something that we've discussed with him extensively, and he understands that. But he's gotten better. I would say his best practice was Tuesday. You can see his mechanically, he's kind of getting better to where his shoulders are quiet. It's not as much movement in the shoulders, and he threw some really, really good football. So again, if he can get to where he can be consistently a thrower, because the kid can run, man, we're gonna have a stable quarterback, man. That's gonna make us harder to defend moving on.
Yeah, Wyckoff.
Well, everyone has a different goal in spring practice. Do you see the biggest improvement and the biggest importance in spring practice for the players that have spent their career on the scout team, but then in this spring practice are in the offense and proving whether they can handle it or not?
Yes, they have. I mean, it's something that spring is huge. It's huge because again, like you say, all the guys who've been on the scout team now they get a chance to fill those holes because again, we got to find depth. We got to find depth, and you have starters. You have the Eli Heinrichs guys who played, but guys who have to step up and be able to build that depth. So a lot of guys who were on the scout team last year, this is their time. It's their time to shine, but they have to show up. They have to show up. They got to come out there and again show us that we can count on them. That's what spring is all about, trying to build depth and find answers to your questions. And then once you find those answers, then now you go into summer, to your summer workouts and your summer training, then obviously into the fall. So this is a huge spring for those guys. And some guys have stepped up, and we're excited about it. But again, the biggest thing is going to be up front, filling those holes up front and trying to find those answers.
And how cool is that to have a bunch of guys out there in front of your quarterbacks and your fullbacks that are really wanting to prove themselves in the spring practice, because there are opportunities to find a spot on the offensive line. Do you see guys just really laying it on the line in front of them?
They're working hard because Coach Guillermo gets after them pretty good. He coaches them pretty hard, but they play for him. They all love him. And again, he gets after them now. He gets after them pretty good. But they respond, and it's not anything negative. He gets them. It's old school coaching, old school ball coaching with those guys. And he gets after them pretty good, and they respond. And the biggest thing is the guys up front, they care. And I think that word in itself, and at any level, when a kid cares about improving and being a better player and building depth, okay, and helping his teammates out, that goes a long way. So guys like Polito at center, who's gonna have a big role for us, has to get better. The kid truly cares. And he's the one kid that Coach Guillermo's on constantly. But man, he does not. Nothing happens. He just lets it go off his shoulders, man, and tell me more, coach. Give me more. Keep coaching, man. And he just responds. So I'm excited about that.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Flags.
So let me clarify: is Jackson Gutierrez missed all of spring?
Well, I mean, he's right now not practicing right now. We have to get him an MRI a couple of weeks here and kind of see where he's at. But that's just a tough deal. It's a tough deal, and but that's going to allow Trey Jones, to get a lot of reps. And Trey understands that his biggest thing has been, just being able to throw the football effectively, just mechanically. Again, it's just not where it needs to be right now. Okay, it's just very sporadic. If he can get to the point to where he can consistently throw the football where it needs to be at and put it where it needs to be at, because again, when we throw the football, it's going to need to be completions. Okay, we can't end up in second and long or something like that. So that's where he needs to improve. And I would say Tuesday, you can really see the kid focusing on his mechanics and trying to get better at it. Because again, he's super talented kid. He has the right attitude. I mean, he's a leader. He has clear eyes. Just a matter of being able to put him in a game and say, hey, we can throw the football with this kid and be confident in it. That's what we need to get.
What about the running aspect? Because obviously we know that Blake, Braxton, and Jackson can all run the ball effectively. What about Trey on that element?
I say the kid has all the tools. He's a super twitchy kid, and he can cut on a dime. He can accelerate. He's fast. He's long. So the kid has all the tools. He has all the tools to be a good player for us. And again, but from day one, like we've talked about with him, it's just being the ability to throw the football effectively for us, and that's something that he's been working on and putting a lot of work in, and he's getting better at it.
So are there other quarterbacks getting reps other than Braxton and Trey? Who else are you looking at?
No, it's just Braxton and Trey right now. Those are the only three we got going through spring right now. So, again, it's just unfortunate for Jackson because again, this would have been a really big spring for him. Because the kid,
so these other guys I'm seeing on the roster as quarterbacks or scout team or whatever.
No, they're injured. So
oh really?
Yeah, they're like spring. So JP has a hernia, and I think Drew has a groin injury as well. So.
Oh, okay.
And then Charles Robinson was moved to Snipe.
Yeah, Charles Robinson moved to Snipe. He's moved to Snipe, and he's actually doing pretty now. The kid can run. He's athletic and all that good stuff.
So how much reps is Blake getting? I mean, is he? I know he's non-contact, obviously, but is he taking a lot of reps?
He's taking a lot of reps. I mean, taking a lot of reps with the ones, and we cannot. And with Blake, the biggest thing is just making sure that he just stays sharp. And again, the kid hasn't changed one bit. I mean, Blake's he's a fun player to be around, to talk to. The kid has jokes for everything. He has great one-liners. He's super savvy, super smart. But the biggest thing is just make sure that he stays hungry this spring and doesn't feel with all the praise he's been getting, all the awards he's been getting, accolades he's been getting, that he stays focused. And I don't see him, getting that way one bit, but also at the same time, we got to make sure that he stays sharp. And by staying sharp is getting those reps. So when we feel that he's got enough reps and we feel good about it, then we'll let Braxton get more reps and then Trey get more reps. But Blake will continue to get reps this spring. Keep him sharp.
So last spring, a big focus was on improving his passing, which he did.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think Blake can still be better at?
Yes, just his complete game. We put a category on our we have production sheet that we fill out every single day, and there's one that's called layups. Okay, that's probably the easiest thing in basketball to do is make a layup, correct? So in the passing game, he missed a lot of layups last year. A lot of layups, just simple throws out in the flat, or obviously in the bowl game. If we hit those throws, man, it's I think we beat those guys pretty good in the bowl game. But he missed a lot of layups this year. So being able to hit throws, to make those simple throws when the time comes, something that he really needs to focus on. Okay, again, he's gotten better as a thrower. Obviously, he's a really good runner, really really fast kid, smart kid. Just being able to be consistent in hitting those layups is probably the one thing that he needs to improve on, and we're going to work on that.
Thanks, Ivin.
Come on, man.
The only bad thing I can say about Blake, Eli, and Alec off the field is they root for Pittsburgh.
Come on, man. Oh, we're all Steelers fans, man.
And Pirates. Go ahead, Tim.
Coach, last one I have for you would be, what for you has been the most encouraging part about this spring? I mean, you've had an opportunity to see a number of teams with high expectations at the academy, but what for you do you think has been the coolest part, or maybe gives you the most confidence going into the season?
Just their approach, their approach to spring. I think obviously coming up last season, all the success, everything that happened, again, just coming back in this spring. And again, we wanted to find, our battle cry this spring for our guys to be able to rally around, and that's stay on the hunt. And I think these kids are taking that and running with it. They understand that, again, we haven't arrived. We're still going to be the underdog in most of our games. People are not going to respect us, so we got to come out every single week ready to play. So their approach this spring has been the most impressive thing, again, because they come out there and they work hard, they go practice, and they just haven't changed. They're just great kids, and their demeanor has always been the same. They're working hard, and they're not letting all the pressure, weigh on them. They're going out and they're doing it their way.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well,
anyone have anything else for Ivin? All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Ross. All right, have a good one, y'all.